Okay, making sure everything is good. I don't know if I'll get comments, so if you're on, I apologize if I can't see anything. Um, as you guys know, I have a podcast, and it's been a while since I've gone live. I'm coming in natural as possible. You can see the tiredness on my face. As many of you know, we had our baby on September 17th at 5:11 a.m. 8:11 for our East Coast fam. Um, he came in beautifully. I did not have any regret for how we went about this process. Many people thought because I was induced that that meant that I had a cesarean section or a C-section. Um, I did not. And so I know I'm not saying anything about C-sections. I'm not I don't have a thought on that. On if you do natural C-section, I don't that the mom world where people are so upset with each other, that's not I don't roll like that. I have no place to tell someone what to do. I just am letting you know that induction doesn't just mean a scheduled C-section. It can be you can labor naturally as well. So I did labor naturally. The thing is, I had to stay longer because when I first came in, Jade induced on Friday, they check your vitals, they check everything, your blood. They found that I had low iron, which we knew. Um, they were telling me that I had low iron pretty early on. But it was so low that they did tell me that there was potentially going to where I was going to need an iron infusion through IV after labor. Um, which that ended up happening. But before we get to that, they also said that I had a low blood count. Now, obviously, I'm not a doctor or a nurse, so I don't know all of the details on how that works. So if that's the same reasoning, they said I had low blood count, so there was a chance as well that I would need a blood transfusion, which I did not need. But basically, on Friday, they gave me this pill form called miso, which is supposed to help you contract. Sometimes people get Pitocin. It all depends on what they want to use to get you there, and where you're at as far as sizing and such. So I started off with miso. Contractions started really well, almost too well, where they decided in the mid-afternoon that they were going to take me off it because when they checked to see how far dilated I was, it wasn't necessarily it wasn't in a place yet where I could go with that. Sorry if you hear Jeremy in the background, but um and so anyway, so I they gave me the miso. It worked too well, so we need to kind of cut it back. So then they decided to give me Certi Certifil, Certidol. I can't tell you names. I have no idea. But anyway, there's this next thing that they would try to help open everything up. Sorry for anybody on here that's like TMI, but unfortunately they had to do that. Well, not unfortunate, but unfortunate for you guys if you didn't want to hear that. So they gave me that. Everything started to get into a place to start contractions. So I started feeling them about, I'd say like 1 o'clock on Friday. I really started to feel them. And um, then I think I decided probably around 7 p.m. at night. Yeah, 7 at night that I was going to get the epidural because the contractions were getting stronger and more intense, where I just was not functioning well. And I, from the very beginning, chose to get the epidural because I just know my body well enough to know that there was no way I could do that unmedicated. I give all love and grace to anybody that has done it unmedicated because, whoa, it was not for me. In the beginning, when I was contracting, like in the morning, it just felt like having endometriosis again. So I was like, yeah, this is nothing. But I knew it wasn't the end, you know? So then they start to get more intense. I get the epidural. And that's when I started to feel a lot better. I was like, this stuff is awesome. The guy that gave me the epidural was super knowledgeable, very like very good at what he does. Like he made it feel as painless as possible going in. I think the worst feeling was the bee sting they call it when they put it initially into numb. So overall, that was really good. And the team that I had, the nurses that I had, the doctors that I had, midwives, everybody, one moment. Benji, Benji, Benji. Sorry. He's going a little too close. Um, the team that I had was amazing. They were super attentive, very informative, always telling me what was next, what was going to happen. Very honest, you know. I was like, well, if you get the epidural, do you feel it at all? Just in hopes. But unfortunately, you do feel the pressure. But anyway, so we get to laboring. I started probably laboring at 2 something in the morning. Um, I was at least close enough to start. And um or the active labor. I'm sorry, I should have said active laboring. If you are typing to me right now, I don't see it, just so you know, but I will answer them back when I can, because it, you know, we get this new schedule. But anyway, so with the labor, active labor started probably about 3 a.m. Started feeling the pressure more. I had a button for my epidural, so anytime I felt pain, because there's pain versus pressure, it was like beep, push that button. But I didn't touch that button probably until 4 or 5, because they did a really good job. Like both sides were numb. You could feel, it's not like you couldn't move my legs or anything. So that was good because I had a lot of horror stories going in here. Once we finally got to actually delivering baby, that's when things got real, of course. I was scared. My mom was there virtually. My husband was there. Um, and of course, like it wasn't as like, oh my gosh, this is the real deal. But the epidural really made the experience amazing because I was able to have moments in between that pressure moment of feeling the baby, um, the contractions and stuff, to breathe and to reset. So they told me it probably took about 2 hours to fully um, deliver. Like we were pushing. I was pushing, and then it'd be like, oh, 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 not yet, not yet. So, um, in the background though, I had a really cool team, including my mom and husband, that were like, "You got this. You're doing amazing." And it took a lot of energy out. Like, so each time I had a break, I was just like, "Oh, hold on, hold on, hold on. Give me a moment. Hold on. Okay, let's do this again." And then finally, at 5:11 when he arrived, I remember seeing my baby with the skin to skin. After that, everything is kind of blurry, but I could hear what they were saying. Seeing, I was so tired I could not keep my eyes open, and that may have been because of the low iron, um, and the 2 hour pushing. But basically, when they gave me my son, I could feel that he was on me. I didn't know that I was going to have to get stitches, but I felt when we had to, release the placenta. Unfortunately, a little bit of placenta was still there, and I was bleeding. I think they said second-degree hemorrhaging, but I'm not exactly sure on the numbers because, again, a lot of this is blurry because I remember hearing things of what they were saying, but still just being like out of it. And I only saw like my baby with the amniotic fluid on him, so I didn't really see his features per se. So then, after we did the golden hour, they gave him to Jeremy, and I definitely had to go through, like, they had to stitch me up because I did have some tear. Um, they said that I lost blood. They said they had to get some placenta out that's was still in there. And I kept saying, like, "Are you done yet?" Luckily, I was that highly medicated to be like, "Are you done yet? Are you done yet?" And they're like, "In 5 minutes." But I think they were lying. I don't know. I don't know if they're lying. I just was like out of it. But I'm very happy that that was the case because if I had to feel all that naturally, too crazy. Um, so after they got me all settled, um, they went ahead with the birth plan we had. They just did they didn't do a bath because we asked for no bath. They just did like a nice little cloth bath. I don't know what you'd call it. They did ask me if I wanted to start breastfeeding, but I could not respond. Like, I did not understand what she was saying to me. So I said, no, I can't right now. So they took care of the baby for me. Um, they had to give me medication to stop the bleeding. Um, and then I started to feel nauseous, so I had to get Zofran to calm that down because I thought I was gonna get sick for a second. I could not keep my eyes open for a while, so Jeremy came over and said, "Hey, is it okay if um your mom takes the photo and sends it out?" Because we had a dispersing plan that she would send it out, my father would send it out, and Jeremy's mom and everybody would send it out. So um I said, "Yes, you can send it." Even though I hadn't seen my son yet, um I was just like, I'd rather have people see him and love him, and I just needed to, because I did not know how long I was going to be feeling that way because I just could not keep my eyes open at all. So I gave permission to what I wanted. Everything was on my birth plan that happened. Um and then after that, I don't know how long I was out, but they came back again and said, "Do you want to try to breastfeed again?" And I said, "Yes." Can I do it with my eyes closed? Because I just couldn't. It seriously took me a long time to get any energy, any form of energy that day, to the point where they did have to wheel me to the bathroom. And Jeremy was like, "Do you want to see our son?" I could not go over to the bassinet and look at him. I was too tired and ill feeling. So I had him show the picture that was sent out to everybody. And yes, we did post it on Facebook. But the thing was, it's the quickest way to get it to everybody. As you know, if you know us really well, you know our family is huge. Jeremy's family is huge. We have friends and family that were private messaging us that, want to see him. So it was the quickest manner. And um, honestly, I know that the social media world, people don't like it if they're learning things on social media, but sometimes when you have a big family, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. Especially since individual messages was super hard for Jeremy and my mom and my dad and everybody that was trying to do it because you've got so many people you need to talk to. And I couldn't say anything to anyone. Now, I know many of you were like, "Hey, it's okay, girl. You don't have to share your life story with us." And I know that, but for me, you have to remember we do a lot of traveling and we are not near family. So for me, even though it's like a norm for others to kind of have family surrounding them in physical presence, we don't have that necessarily. So to me, it feels like you're there with me by me sharing with you. And social media makes it easier to get it out to all the people we love. And there's so many of you that we love. Like, you can't be like, "Oh, do you have a certain person?" There's really not. So it may I'm not s I'm only saying this because I want you to know that any choices that I made is based off of what Jeremy, why are you looking? We're on we're on live Facebook right now, and you're looking I can see you up there. Sorry, he doesn't know I was live because he was letting the dog out. But anyway, my point is that it's nice to have it feels like family are surrounding me, and that is why I'm so open in sharing on social media because it is the best way that I have to family at this point. I mean, um, so that is why I do it. It's not because of anything else. So anyway, it's also, and I have the podcast. The podcast is based off of this infertility journey, and I wanted to bring everybody that is struggling with me, not just struggling, but that wanted to follow my story with me. And so I've been sharing from that. And now we're here. Now I have a baby, remember like it was like years upon years of saying, I want a baby, but nothing's happening. Nothing's working. There's something wrong. So to be here now today and being like, oh, we did it. We have a baby. It's just crazy. But basically after I gave birth, at 4 in the morning on Sunday, believe they had to give me that IV of iron for the infusion because I was very, very low. They checked my blood. So it took me a while to really get energy back. And they had me stay that one more night, which was, I believe we stayed Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. So Sunday night they had me stay just to be safe, just to make sure everything was good with me. I wanted to leave. Trust me, I wanted to leave, but at the same time, I also needed to listen to them and understand that a lot occurred as low energy from, having that low iron and low blood count. And really the best place you could be is at the hospital where they can care for you. So I'm glad that I stayed. My mom and Jeremy had to talk me into staying because I'm like, I want to leave. But um, yeah, so they helped me stay that one extra day. And I'm very happy that I did because the next day we had the lactation consultant come in so we could get more advice. We had our nurse come in and teach us how to bathe him. Um, and we had just a bunch of different people come in and give their information to help us for being first-time parents. Um, so yeah, so that was labor and delivery. Uh, People have been asking if we're getting sleep. I think y'all know that answer. Sometimes I'm laughing when you guys are like, "Are you sleeping? Do you think we are?" No, I'm just kidding. I have been getting the advice to sleep when the baby sleeps, and I am doing it. It's just taking some time because my body was used to 8 a.m. I'm up, 10 p.m. I go to bed. So now I'm trying to remind myself it's okay to sleep. And you also have to know this about me. I'm not saying you have to, but there's only a couple people that really know it, and it's my mom. I hate naps. I've hated them since the beginning of time. So taking a nap was difficult at first until it started hitting hard. Now it's like, okay, we can take a nap. But we're getting there. I mean, we're literally only on, what is it, day 2 now of being at home by ourselves without the help of the nurses or anything. So it's a big, big change. But we're doing it. Our son is doing so amazing. The pediatricians that we saw at the hospital told us that he lost a little bit of weight, which is a normal thing. But he's on the growth chart in a really perfect spot. Um, and so I'm very happy about that. We did have a little hiccup yesterday with the pediatrician that we were going to, but we have let her go. That's another time, another thing. But overall, mentally just trying to stay in with the sleep deprivation, trying to stay honest with myself and the people that I trust around me that when I ask for help, I'm not being stubborn. I'm asking for help. I'm telling people, how I feel so we can keep an eye to make sure that, I'm okay and he's okay. Um, it's been difficult. I mean, I've had a lot of crying moments for sure. Bawled my eyes out. I think just trying to figure out how to take care of my son and myself because I'm also healing and I still have a process of working on the healing that I had to do with the lack of energy due to having to get that infusion and then the stitches, like taking care of myself. That way I make sure I'm eating. Jeremy has been amazing. He has helped with everything that he can help with, except for feeding, because that's the only thing he can't help with. Um, but we've been just trying to remind ourselves that it's okay to readjust, realign, refocus, and that we're newbies. We're not going to know every single thing, and it's okay to ask for help when we need it. Um, we have people coming out, people, it's family. We have family coming to visit. My mom is coming tomorrow. Jeremy's mom is coming very soon as well. And so we do have family coming in, which is very exciting. And my father will be coming in. So a lot of people will be coming in to help and um, just help us get situated, and then of course we're learning as a family. Benji's learning how to be calm with the baby. He's doing pretty well. He still has moments where he's kind of like, hmm, you're still in my spot. But overall, he is doing very well. Um, Jeremy and I are learning our son's cues. Um, our son is loving his life and not loving it sometimes too, because he probably enjoyed the womb. You go from a dark place, you're fed, to you have to do the work, and now you're in the light. So, but overall, we're very much in love with our son. We're very thankful and grateful for all of you that have reached out, for everyone that sent messages, support, advice. We're trying our best to answer calls, but as you know, it's very difficult in this beginning stage. But once we get a semblance of like routine, which no, a schedule and a routine are two different things because schedule is timing, routine is just get into the groove of things. Just so you don't think I'm like, oh, at 8 p.m., I think I'll do this. I'm aware we're on his time, but once we get a routine, I feel like we're going to be able to get back to at least being able to reach out to everybody because I want so bad to be like, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But it's hard keeping up with all the messages. But it's at the same time, it's a beautiful thing because our support system has been amazing and we are beyond grateful and beyond loved and it's overwhelmingly felt in a good way. Even if we are so many miles apart. And the people here, I can't say we don't have anyone here because Jeremy does have an amazing group of coworkers that have been supporting us with helping us with the dog, uh, bringing us food, and just offering help in any manner. And then I've got East Coast peeps that are calling me and sending love, and they're sending me flowers and food. And so we are well supported, and we really appreciate that. Um, but I wanted to make this live because there's no way I could sit here and record it. And as you know, I do have to sleep when the baby sleeps, so I have had my food and I'm probably gonna feed him again and then get to bed again. But just know that I am reaching out back when I can. I love all of you. And yeah, it's been a wild ride, but amazing. And we're very grateful. So if you did comment on my video, I will eventually go in and see them, but it might take me a little time. So I'm coming to you live from the Brie Pod. So, like I always end my podcast, if you haven't watched it, that's okay, or heard it. I say, you are loved, you are worthy, You are cherished, and I am proud of you. Until next time on the Brie Pod or my live feed. Okay, bye.